Hello and welcome to AUCTV. I'm Habiba Hussein, and in this week's news bulletin, we will be tackling 3 on-campus stories. Last Wednesday, Journalism and Mass Communication Department held an opening of the photographic gallery on the Road to Freedom by Asma Wagih. Asma Wagih is an independent Egyptian reporter and photojournalist who has been covering politics and conflict in the Middle East for almost 15 years. The photos of this exhibition honors the bravery and struggle of the heroic Kurdish women and other Arabs. Psychological Counseling Services and Training Center hosts a workshop under the title Who I Am to help students discover themselves. The workshop also aims to help students understand their purpose. Topics like the difference between true self and the false self and what an existential crisis is will be discussed. Following the workshop, the attendees get the chance to take part in a 4-week, weekly occurring therapy group in which the same topics will be discussed but on a much deeper level. Those who wished to attend had to fill out a form, as the seats were limited. Other workshops the students could sign up for include an emotional eating support group and an anxiety-focused workshop. On the Women's International Day, Entrepreneur held an event called She Can at the Greek campus, under the theme Successful Failures. This year is the 3rd edition of the event. Over 5,000 participants attended this event, which makes it the larger female-focused entrepreneurship event of the Middle East and North Africa. That was all for today's news bulletin. Stay tuned for the interview segment. Welcome to the interview segment. Joining me in the studio today is gymnast and coach Sharifa Bayoumi. Sharifa, welcome to the studio.
Hi Habiba, how are you?
I'm good, how are you?
I'm fine.
Sharifa, how long have you been practicing gymnastics?
I started playing gymnastics when I was around 3 years old. I started with artistic gymnastics, and then when I was around 7, 8, 9 years old, I decided to convert to rhythmic gymnastics.
What's the difference between artistic and rhythmic gymnastics?
Artistic is more based on strength and muscles and like things like that, and rhythmic is depending more on flexibility and elegance, dances, coordination.
Okay. I understand that you were coaching gymnastics while being a full-time student. How did you balance your time being a full-time student and a coach?
I started coaching as soon as I stopped playing when I was around 18 years old, and I just started the university and I still coach until now. So I come to university every day at like 10 or maybe 11:30 and I leave at 3. I have training at 5 and I finish around 9. So I don't really have time to study or do like extra work. Yeah. Outside of training, but it all works out at the end.
You're wearing an Olympic necklace.
Yes.
You were part of the Youth Olympics. What year and how was your experience?
I went to the Youth Olympics in 2014 in China, and it was an amazing experience. I think it's something that every athlete dreams of and every athlete wants to reach, and it was amazing.
Do you ever feel like quitting?
I used to when I played, yes, at times when training was really, really hard, or when something outside was bothering me, for example, and I didn't really want to train. I felt like I had to quit now and I wasn't up for it. But I always like put my goal in front of me and what I want my future to look like, and that gave me like a push to continue working and training.
Do you plan on making a career out of your sport, out of gymnastics, or do you plan on just doing it for the time being?
I think that one day I can make a career out of it, but I think that first, after I finish university, I have to first have a job, a regular job, and then maybe in a couple of years or maybe 10 years, if I grow in the gymnastics industry, maybe I'm gonna leave like the 9-to-5 job and just focus on gymnastics and coaching, judging, whatever.
What do you feel is your greatest achievement as an athlete?
I think my greatest achievement was was participating in the World Championships, because it's something I really worked hard for. I had to move to another city to prepare for this competition, and it's something that I really think I worked hard for and that I deserved.
Sharifa, thank you so much for joining me. It was a pleasure having you.
Thank you.
That was all for this week's rundown. Join us next week with more stories on AUC.